America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, thank you everybody for coming this evening. We'll go ahead and call the organizational meeting to order. Start with the roll call.
Mac Rankin.
Present.
Ann Metzger. Eric Christensen.
Here.
Tim Mills.
Here.
Ryan Whirling.
Here.
Sue Wilson.
Here.
Jeanette Campbell.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Next item is the good news and board member reports.
So I have listed on there different things that have happened since our last board meeting. So in that time, we've had the Middle School Veterans Day Assembly, which was an amazing experience for those kids, and our staff and kids did an amazing job. We had the Middle School Student Council take part in a leadership camp at Camp Weasley Woods. We also had our 9th grade middle school, or we had our 9 middle school and 7 high school students who were selected to the Opus Honor Choir from middle school and high school. On October 25th, we hosted 1,500 kids, musicians, directors, and guests to the campus for their All-State Music Festival. They came here, and this was their audition site. So they were able to be a part of that here. As you know, our boys cross country represented us at the state meet, as well as 4 individual girl runners. And then our boys did take first at the state meet there. Our volleyball team also earned a state berth, and they participated in the state tournament, and our boys also qualified for Class 5A, which is a huge feat, to jump up to Class 5A and be able to qualify. We had 12 8th grade girls participate in the Iowa State Women in Science program, Go Further STEM Conference. And they got a chance to explore all kinds of different careers and explorations in science, technology, engineering, and math, and all the different ways that they can apply a degree in one of those areas to a career. Middle school participated in Red Ribbon Week, which was capped off with a K-9 visit. Ringo came to visit them and did a demonstration with them. Our high school music theater just finished A Dark Stormy Night, and so they just completed that a couple weeks ago. And then we hosted the middle school career fair, where we had 25 community partners that came to share different careers in their given fields with our students and gave them presentations.
All right, thank you very much. A lot of exciting stuff going on. Are there any board member reports?
I was at the high school, I don't know, I think Friday, just doing some stuff for We Left, working with some people, and you could always hear passing time because a teacher's got some music blaring and there was laughter and they were interacting with the students, and I don't know, I just thought it was really cool. I was like, this is kind of like a school I want to be a part of, because it wasn't just like the kids walking, trying to get where they had to be. Several of the teachers stand outside in the hallway and interact, and so sometimes they don't see those little acts and how far they go. And I thought that was really cool. So high school staff, that was awesome. If you were one of them, thank you.
At your seats, I also gave you, today kicks off American Educator Week, and so it really celebrates all of our educators and everybody that works within a school system. And so the note and the postcard and pens are what we sent out to staff today, so they would have gotten those in their mailboxes or at their job site today.
Well, as you guys know, we recently had an election. We're going to have some a new face join us here in just a little bit. Got a few old faces that are going to stick around. But we do have one board member that is retiring, and I'd like to present Tim with a certificate of appreciation for the last 4 years of service on the board. There's a plaque on the way. There's also a lifetime activities pass that's going to be on the way for you here. So get a frame for you for that, and we appreciate everything you've done for us in the last 4 years. Appreciate the opportunity. Do you have any final words that you wanted to say?
That I didn't have time to change my clothes, and I'm sorry.
Any board members that have anything they'd like to say?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for all, your experience.
Yeah, you brought great experience. Yeah, my only comment would be that I was an outsider, and the community gave me the opportunity to serve, which I appreciated. I literally moved here, was here for, I think, a year, and then ran for school board and, had an opportunity to serve with all of you here. And it's been a pleasure and enjoyment. I've enjoyed the staff that I've had the opportunity to learn from. And so it was a great opportunity. I'm appreciative to the community that gave me that opportunity, so thank you.
Thank you. You are a very solid part of our team.
Thanks.
Thank you for your service.
Next item on the agenda is public comment. I believe we've got a few people that have signed up. If you're here to speak and you haven't already signed up, please do so. We do limit time to 5 minutes per individual. We ask that you come up to the podium and state your name and your address, and you can speak for your allotted time. Who do we have first?
Deb Shield Larson.
Good evening. I'm Deb Shield Larson from Indianola, Iowa. And my reference to your meeting agenda tonight is the Facilities Committee report. Our information request originated over 3 years ago with a $70 million bond issue in September 2022. We asked to know how and where the Indianola Indians mascot, logo, and nickname would be used inside and outside the new high school. Fiscal responsibility is a priority for all of us, and with this project make changing the Indianola Indians in the future more difficult and expensive. When the school board presented construction plans at their public meeting in 2024, we specifically asked for digital copies of the plans that included how and where the Indianola Indians would be used and displayed inside and outside. We have kept asking, respectfully, following your process through this year too, 2025. Responses have been prompt, and that's appreciated. Thank you, Superintendent Paul. We waited each time following proposed construction projects' phasing dates, and we ask again and again in the process you require. We haven't seen any plans yet. Nothing. I understand that some board members are frustrated with repeated questions, and I apologize. In this case, where I'm involved, I believe that if you were more transparent, we wouldn't have to ask questions. Most recently, on October 27th, 2025, we were told that, quote, the signage package is in the design phase and has yet to be released. Therefore, there are no documents to provide or put out for bid at this time. And, quote, the room signage package for phase 1A-B will be issued for competitive quotes in late 2025 or early 2026. It's late 2025 right now, and early 2026 is right around the corner. A reasonable person, I believe, would know that these plans likely exist right now. I know personally from decades working with construction projects, specifications, and plans that schedules do change, and we understand that. Some of the work in a construction project like signs can be later in what you build as your project. But what is consistent is the time required for contractors to review their portion of the work, estimate costs, submit their bids or accept awards, sign contracts, and order their materials. Are you attempting to wait until it's too late, withholding information from us? Withholding information and simply building the Indianola Indians into this project without an opportunity to talk about it? What we're asking for is public information. If the answer is yes, and you are attempting to conceal this information, I have to believe that you are aware that your community's questions about Indian signage inside and outside involved review, shared discussion with you before you bid, before you were committed to what was going to happen, not when it's too late to have conversations with each one of you. for us, for me personally, the interior of the high school, and that's proposed for installation first. You're planning a move-in, is especially sensitive. It's an environment there where your students, our community's children, will be exposed to and live in every day. We want to talk about this. The state of Iowa's sunshine laws aren't going away, and we're not going away. Thank you for this opportunity to talk with you tonight.
Rachel Bardwell.
Hi, my name is Rachel Bardwell. My address is 911 North B Street in Indianola. I'm here tonight to read a letter on behalf of J.C. Green, and if you need her address, it's 700 North G Street. So I'm going to read this letter on behalf of J.C., who could not be with us tonight. To whom it may concern, please accept my sincere apologies for not being able to attend the meeting in person. I had fully intended to be there, however, due to the change in the board meeting's date and time, I am unfortunately unable to attend. My thanks to Rachel for kindly presenting this letter on my behalf. As a parent in the district, I want to follow up on an issue that was brought to the board's attention at the July 14th, 2025 meeting regarding Schedule D stipends and contracts. From my understanding, a contract was issued to several of our music directors, signed and later redacted and reissued with a reduced pay rate. I would like to bring attention to this matter again, as I fear it remains unresolved. With the recent elections and upcoming changes to the school board, my hope is that this issue can be addressed promptly so it does not become lost or forgotten in the transition. Our music directors deserve clarity and fair compensation for the exceptional work they do. I am a proud parent of 2 graduates of our district and 2 children who are still enrolled. All 4 have participated in the outstanding academic, athletic, and music programs our district provides. But I must express my deep disappointment that our music staff, whose programs continue to thrive and expand, are being met with pay cuts rather than recognition. Never in my life, whether through my own career, my husband's career as a teacher and coach, or in any professional environment, have I seen an organization respond to success by cutting pay. Our music programs are not struggling, they're soaring. Our band has achieved its 12th consecutive Division I rating at State Marching Band. More students than ever are earning spots in honor bands, orchestras, and choirs. These are not small accomplishments. They are proof of excellence, dedication, and an environment where students are inspired to reach their full potential. So I ask you as board members, would any other successful program in our district be asked to take a pay cut? Would a coach who consistently leads teams to state championships be told their work is not worthy of the pay they receive, or be asked to scale back the extra efforts that make that success possible? What other program operates with a student to director or coach ratio of approximately 70-1? Our music directors give everything they have, their time, their talent, their hearts to our kids. Cutting their pay is not just unfair, it's demoralizing. When education is growing more challenging and retaining great teachers is harder than ever, we should be investing in them, not diminishing their worth. It's time we properly recognize the incredible work our music educators do each day. When enrollment is growing, success is increasing, and teaching continues to present new challenges, cutting pay sends the wrong message. I would also urge the board to consider the ongoing growth of these programs. Year after year, participation rises. At what point will we acknowledge that our directors cannot continue to do the work of 2 or 3 people indefinitely? We are extraordinarily fortunate to have volunteers like Mr. Gary Richardson, Max Green, Mr. Matthew Swanson, and Ms. Martha Dahl, who dedicate countless hours to sustaining these programs. Time that, in truth, amounts to an additional full-time position or more. Our own directors also volunteer significant time supporting one another with lessons, rehearsals, and concerts. Their generosity, however, should not be the foundation holding up an expanding department. Rather, it should signal to the district that a review of our directors' contracts with comparison to other districts, additional staffing, and support are long overdue. I urge the board to take immediate, meaningful action. Restore the pay that was cut, recognize the achievements of these educators, and begin planning now to provide the support our music programs need to continue their extraordinary success. Thank you for your time and attention to this important matter. I hope the board will take this opportunity to review and correct the current stipend situation and consider the future needs of our thriving music programs. Respectfully, J.C. Green. Thanks.
Thank you. Who's next?
Tristan?
Hello, my name is Tristan Grover. My address is 107 West Orchard Avenue. I'm here tonight to talk about National Honor Society. About a year ago on November 27th, a political discussion ensued in a science class of all places at the high school. Involved in this conversation were our daughter Madison Grover and two of her classmates, Alexa Geyer and Kendall Sandy. In the course of this conversation, the teacher ended up calling all of those who supported Trump brainwashed. This led to a conversation between two of the girls, Alexa and Madison, and their counselor, at which time their counselor identified to the girls that these are the types of things that keep you out of NHS. After that conversation happened, my wife Rosie and I reached out to the counselor and had a conversation with her to try and clear the air. That statement, again, was made to us. These are the types of things that keep you out of NHS. Fast forward to this September 19th. All students eligible for application or applying to NHS received an email stating that the application period would be open on October 6th and applications would be available, which they were. However, in that application it identified a student-only meeting that was to be held on September 26th. Almost 10 days prior to the applications being available. This meeting, per the student handbook, is supposed to be a parent-student meeting, and it's supposed to identify the application and review process. It was later identified that this meeting never happened, even though the principal told us face-to-face that it did. Moving along to October 29th, all three girls were rejected applications for admittance to NHS, with no reasoning provided per the IHS student handbook. On November 4th, the parents of all three students reached out and met with the principal and assistant principal, asking for clarification on the student-parent meeting, which we were told did happen, and later the principal admitted it never did happen. We were asked for reasons for denial of the girls, and we were given nothing. We asked the principal what the appeal process was, and we were told there is none. We asked the principal about the 5-member panel, and we were told it's top secret and their decision is final. On November 4th, that same day, we had our first interaction with NASSP, the National Association of Secondary School Principals, the organizing and oversight body for NHS, who said the principal has the authority for an appeal, and if he or she will not hear that, then the superintendent, and if not the school board, can hear the appeal. Between that date, the 4th, and the 10th, there were several correspondence back and forth with the superintendent providing documentation on where the Indianola NHS Chapter 599 bylaws contradict the NHS National Constitution as well as the IHS Student Handbook. The superintendent continued to push the discussions back to the building or principal level, and she stated that neither she nor the school board had the authority to provide oversight, which directly contradicts what NASSP says. During that same period, all three girls met with the NHS advisor and are given different reasons for denial, including not diversified enough of an application and not compassionate enough with peers, despite that not being in the application process. We are here to ask and to be heard, as nobody seems to see the irony behind the political issue that happened last year in a science classroom and the comment that these are the things that keep you out of NHS. These three students are all in the top 10% of their respective graduating class. That's the top 29 in their class. Involved in lots of extracurricular activities, including volleyball, basketball, track, softball, DECA, MVP, Student Council, FCA, Dollars for Scholars, Prom Committee, and FCA. All three volunteer in the community regularly, and two of them are participating in Silver Court. All three are very involved in their respective churches. Indianola NHS Chapter 599 bylaws are not consistent with the 25-26 IHS Student Handbook or the NHS National Constitution. Both the principal and superintendent have acknowledged that there needs to be work done on the Indianola NHS Chapter 599 bylaws, and that will occur next year, but will not give these 3 girls the ability for due process this year. The reasons these girls were denied acceptance is clearly due to discrimination, as they clearly meet all of the NHS pillars identified in the selection criteria of the application. We are requesting 3 things of the school board. Number 1, conduct an audit of the National Honor Society faculty at the Indianola High School to determine if retaliation or personal bias was used during the NHS selection process. 2, allow and assist with an appeal to review the NHS applications for Kendall Sandy, Alexa Geyer, Madison Grover to determine their merit free of faculty bias despite the students missing the induction ceremony. And last, review the NHS Indianola Chapter 599 bylaws and correct any conflicts with the Constitution of the National Honor Society and Indianola Student Handbook. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I have a letter to read that was submitted by Tanner and Jody Sandy. It's dated November 15th, 2025. Members of the school board, please conduct an audit of the National Honor Society faculty at the Indianola High School to determine if retaliation of personal bias was used during the NHS selection process. Please allow an appeal to review the NHS applications for KS, AG, and MG to determine their merit and free of faculty bias despite the students missing the induction ceremony. Please review the National Honor Society Indianola Chapter 599 bylaws and correct any conflicts with the Constitution of the National Honor Society and Indianola High School Handbook. The front page of the National Honor Society application for Indianola High School states, "The purpose of the National Honor Society shall be to create enthusiasm for scholarship, to stimulate a desire to render service, to promote leadership, and to develop character in the students of Indianola High School." With this purpose in mind, I ask you weigh the information provided and then follow up with researching information the high school administration has to ensure that the administration is living up to the purpose statement of the National Honor Society. Following is a high-level summary of the information I feel compelled to share. The subsequent pages provide finer details to the points below. Tanner and I believe our daughter was excluded from the local National Honor Society due to retaliation or discrimination stemming from an event that occurred Wednesday, November 27, 2024. Ms. Horstman commented to AG and MG that lying about the November 27, 2024 event could impact the girls getting accepted into NHS. Our daughter followed the instructions provided when learning she was denied into NHS. We met with Ms. Kingery to discover she had not filled out the leadership portion of the NHS application correctly. When proving our daughter had filled out the application exactly as it was stated, Mr. Sabersma responded and said that was not the actual reason our daughter was denied into NHS, but did not provide further explanation when asked. I believe the contradicting answers of our daughter's denial into NHS affirms it was based on bias from the November 27, 2024 incident. We attempted to share these details with Superintendent Tara Paul, but she referred us back to the principal saying he and the 5-member faculty have final authority. In our research of National Honor Society, we discovered some of Indianola's local NHS bylaws conflict with the National Honor Society Constitution. One discrepancy to note, in the National Constitution, Article 5, Section 4, the principal shall receive appeals in cases of non-selection of candidates. Article 3, Section 2 states, any state association of National Honor Society chapters shall conform to this Constitution and shall work with NASSP in furthering the purposes of this organization. In other words, while Indianola Chapter 599 bylaws do not specifically have an appeals process outlined, an appeals process is supported in the National Honor Society Constitution with which local chapters must abide. As I trust you all agree, students should be provided with a safe learning environment where they are encouraged to think, not what to think. Ms. Garrell's volatile, unprofessional response about President Trump should have never happened in biology class. The 3 students involved should have never been put in this position by an adult we have entrusted to teach them. These students should not be punished by denial into the National Honor Society for their reporting of this incident and then requesting to move to a classroom where they felt safer. Respectfully, Tanner and Jody Sandy.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak this evening?
Rosie, did you just add your name to the list?
Just signed in my
Okay.
verbal speaking sheet. Thank you.
All right. With that, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Are there any items that we need to pull for discussion? Can you entertain a motion for approval?
Motion we approve the consent agenda.
Motion made by Sue,
Second.
seconded by Eric. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Moving on to committee reports. First up is the Curriculum Committee report from November 13th.
We got an awesome visual. Is that included in there? It isn't on with this one. No. She knows I like percentages. Anyways, we really looked at our annual community report on just our progress indicators. It groups it into, we looked at 4th grade, 8th grade, 11th grade, and all different categories, including free and reduced lunch, English language, male, female. And so just looked at not yet proficient, proficient, or above proficient. And so always room for improvement, but we highlighted a few different things, and I mean, we are always a little bit above the state average in our stuff. But the whole chart just comes back to our WIGs, our goals that they continue to work on, building conversations in each of the buildings through the principals and the teacher, and then working towards, obviously, an upward trend of improvement. So they looked at reading, math, and science for really the data. We do have a little bit of data on post-secondary education training, and then, yeah. So if you want, are really interested in that, I'm sure Mr. On could get you a copy of it. She also talked to us about some new anticipated courses we can start seeing. PE is going to look at some grants funding for a biking unit. Also looking at some weighted vests for like a walking unit. Looking at employability skills course for career and career investigation courses. A newspaper course. That'll include like podcasting, looking at adding a Child Care 3, and then some of the classes are being added due to legislation that went through last year, like Senate File 175 and Human Growth and Development. And then really just looking at, obviously with her retirement, is there a space for an elementary curriculum kind of lead? And then we put Jamie Daniels last year already into the secondary curriculum lead. And so, you know, is that something to start looking at as we look at her retirement and structure of how we want to go forward with that?
Thank you, Sue. Are there any questions?
Or did I miss anything big you wanted us to cover?
I would also note that we're looking into the Iowa Purple Star school program that the governor passed last spring, where you could focus someone through our teacher leadership program on military-connected students and families. Just another layer of attention to their needs, especially if a parent is on active duty. Just another way to have a teacher pathway of leadership to help support not only the students and families, but mostly too for our teachers, that they might need extra support in communication or keeping on, on top of, in track of those families and making sure they have what they need.
So like, I wrote down, like, they would be stipend, part of the TLC funding, but it would be kind of like a liaison between the school district and the family to just make sure that.
Right. There would be some professional development that they would help oversee for staff. We would create a special web page with information and resources through that program. So it's something that our teacher leadership focus group was in support of too. So that's something under consideration that would go to the HR committee at their next meeting. But it's kind of a subject that floats between both committees. So we want to make sure both had heard about it.
And there's currently 101 students in our district that have somebody involved in the military. So.
Any questions? Okay. Next item is the HR committee report. I will run through that. We reviewed the proposal for special education improvement around a lead position and what a job description would look like. This is a new position that would provide teacher support, training, and resources related to pre-K through 12th special education. The ideal candidate would be internal, have a good system knowledge of IEP program, how to solve problems, with targeted school focus. Looking to hire this position for next school year. There's going to be more to come on that before that position is approved. We discussed snow days and how we want to handle professional development during those snow days by allowing staff to work remotely. We trialed that last year and had good results with it. So hopefully we don't have a ton of snow days this year, but in the event that we do, we will try to keep our staff engaged and working on professional development while they are home. We continued the conversation around the process for teachers who may look to be released from their contract prior to the final day, more specifically around, in most instances, retirement. We want to make sure that staff has the opportunity to collect their IRS benefits when it's convenient for them. If they work at all in a calendar month, then they don't get to take their IRS benefits for that month. They have to wait till the following month. So there was some conversation more or less around just information at this point on what that will potentially look like in the future and what our options are. We also had a very brief conversation around the district's usage of E-Verify. There was some headlines in the news recently around entities, government entities, including school districts, that may or may not be using that. We are compliant with the requirements that we have in place for that. So, anything that I missed? Okay. Any questions? Shelley, anything you wanted to add? Okay. Next item is the Technology Committee report from October 28th.
Sure. So still working on finalizing the Power School contract. There's some delays there. couple of recent outages, but they were able to trace those back and get things corrected. There was a test of the cellular backup for the phone network, so it looks like that would provide some good functionality. Make sure we have uninterrupted phone service. An update on the new construction and the technology-related pieces of that. Talked about some district-wide network downtime in June as the existing building is demolished as part of the construction project. And then talked about some of the data privacy agreements. And I think what Ray said, there are over 200 online resources that we're using across the district there. So the system they've got in place now allows us to leverage those data privacy agreements that may have been set up by affiliated or folks that are in this Iowa Alliance of Student Data Consortium. What did I miss, Ray?
That's about it. I think we're making progress on all of this, but we still have some things we gotta get done there, so waiting for images, waiting on some other pieces.
Any questions for technology? All right, next one up is finance. And I can't remember who was all there.
Who was there?
You want to take it?
I can read. Travis Squire of Piper Sandler joined the committee meeting to discuss the process and timeline for selling $30 million in sales tax bonds to fund the remaining phase 1 and approximately $2 million of phase 2. Travis talked to the committee about the process, the outlook of funds, and the restrictions around the use of the funds. He also talked through that these funds have a 2-year limitation without arbitrage rebate rules. The committee agreed to take this action to the board to begin the process.
We talked about all of them.
They had to go on.
It was in the work packet, so.
Questions for finance?
Hey, did we also touch on enrollment a little bit in that meeting?
Yep, and that was up on, yes, we did. We talked about how our enrollment is down and how that might impact these funds just a little bit, because the funds that we are bonding against now, or starting that process, are based on student population and a per pupil cost. However, we just received an A+ rating from the S&P Global, which means that we are very secure in being able to repay the funds based on what our enrollment is doing and the trend lines of enrollment. So,
I think the other thing that was important that came out of that was that there's a decline in a lot of the school districts surrounding the Des Moines Metro and including the Des Moines Metro. And so it's really a national issue, not specific just.
I'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow's finance, just to get down. Here we touched on it based on what that does for these funds, but we'll touch on it.
I think to your point, Tim, right? It's not an Indianola problem specifically. It's just sort of a demographic thing that we're seeing across most places, where the senior class is graduating senior class is a lot larger than the incoming kindergarten class.
Did you guys, are other school districts experiencing a lot of online enrollment? Is that where they're losing some of their numbers? Are people that are going online?
I don't have that for other school districts. I know for us, it went from 11 last year to 22 this year. Count day to count day. So, we may enroll more as the year goes on, or we may gain some back as the year goes on too. But enrollment date to enrollment date, we went up double, 11.
So when we get our enrollment in and our enrollment out, and it says CAM or Clayton Ridge, we can't deny that, right? Because they're going to an online program, they're going to like a non-traditional setting, so we automatically have to approve those out, right?
Correct, at any point in the school year. So there's no deadline for application for an online school.
Yeah.
Any other questions? The next item is the Facilities Committee meeting from November 6th.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't take any notes about the high school project update because I think Bernie was really excited to get right to the baseball softball project. But like it says here, he did give a brief update, and I think we're ahead of schedule on the high school building project. So that's good.
Now, I will caveat that with, just because we're ahead of schedule doesn't mean we'll be able to move in any sooner, just because of educating kids. We would really have to be ready to move in a month if we were gonna do that seamlessly and not disrupt educational practice, and we're not gonna be ready at that point. So we'll still wait, even if we're ahead of schedule.
And he did say something about the big windows being in at the high school, and seating and that sort of thing going on. But he was very excited to say that the turf is down on the baseball field, and I noticed now the baseball and the softball fields are both done, correct?
They're working on the softball. I don't know if they're officially done, but they're up there working.
Okay, good. And he talked about rock and chip rock, that sort of thing. But he said weather permitting by Thanksgiving, because they needed good temps for the glue. But, the baseball field looks good. And then we discussed the construction manager at risk. And there was no decision that we came to for that, right? We will consider options and do what's best.
At least that's why I think I wasn't there for that one. So I'm gonna rely on Brian for that.
Yeah.
That was a consensus, yes.
Will you elaborate a little bit, like, for those of us that don't sit in facilities, what is construction manager at risk?
Yeah, and I had to ask about that, because I didn't know what that was either.
Yeah.
So that is, what I understood, it means that the person, a construction manager at risk, guarantees a certain maximum price, is that right? So they can't go, or it can't go higher than that?
It's a process for, without going out to bid for all contractors, you use a rubric based, so contractors still bid the project, but they don't give you a final bid number until they've already been selected, and they give you working numbers until they go through the whole process. The benefit of having them come on early is they can work with your architect team to troubleshoot any issues that might happen ahead of time. It's a selection process where you have a rubric and a team of people that take all of the bids or the quotes against a rubric. And that rubric is developed by the team and our attorneys to make sure that it meets what is important to the district, not necessarily just $5.
Thank you.
It's relatively new. It's legislatively in the last couple of years, I want to say, is what Allers was telling us, that this has been available to the public school districts. It's been available a little bit longer to the greater public sector.
Questions?
Have we talked at all about the lovely parking lot at the old admin building? The crater?
That is part of phase 2.
Oh, it is?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
That's all part of phase 2.
Good. I almost launched my car in there the other day, and it probably would have sat there for a while.
Next item on the agenda is the abstract from the November 4th election. The recommendation is that we approve the abstract from the County Board of Supervisors as presented. Are there any questions?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Sue. Seconded by Ryan. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Just in time.
Looks like you're doing a good job. Good for you.
All right, if there is no other business, we will adjourn the regular meeting and go into our organizational meeting and swear in our new board members. Tim, you want the honors?
Can I say one thing real quick?
I need to go change clothes if I'm gonna swear people in, so.
No, you just gotta adjourn. Just need a motion.
Wait, can I say one thing before?
Yeah.
You guys all see this at your desk, and I just want to, just look at it, pay some attention to it. The Hope Foundation is something that directly affects our families and our students. They have assistance to be able to help families in need with all sorts of things. And so if you don't know about them, just take this home, read it, because they are really a good foundation and they have done tremendous work in keeping a lot of our families and our students where they need to be academically and financially and everything else. So I saw it at our seat, so just don't throw it away, take it home.
Well said, sir. Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Tim. Second. Seconded by Ron. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Ryan,
Thank you.
take it away. Thank you very much, Tim.
You can stay for as long as you want, but you have to move to the
No.
the chairs.
These pens going, is this for me?
There you go. Yeah.
And your to-do list, sticky note.
Yeah, I've got one at home that somebody else created.
That one probably pulls priority.
I'll walk out.
Go ahead. I was gonna say bye too.
All right, I'll call the meeting to order. I invite Brady up. We'll give the oath to new members. You can go up front and we'll do it all at once, so.
Over to the Yeah, so everybody,
Yep, so
all the elections.
Jeanette, Ryan,
You guys go.
Brady, and Mac. Please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge all the duties of the office of board member in the Indianola Community School District as now or herever required by law? Okay. Congratulations, and I have suitable for framing certificates.
Thank you.
And Mac, congratulations. I think. Okay, now the next item is, I'll do the roll call. So Mac Rankin.
Present.
Ben Metzger. Eric Christensen. Here. Brady Dar.
Here.
Ryan Whirling. Here. Sue Wilson.
Here.
Jeanette Campbell. Now the election of the board president. We'll take nominations.
What do we do? I'd like to nominate Sue Wilson for board president.
Second.
I was gonna say something about her.
Oh,
Can
go
I talk
ahead.
about her? I just think Sue and I have been on this board the longest, and Sue is just an exemplary shining light of what Indianola is all about. She has the biggest heart you'll ever find in a human being. I don't think anyone can dispute that. And I just think she's well respected by our staff and our community. And she has 6 years of experience. I think she'll do a great job.
And who's second?
I'd like to elect Mac as president. I think he's done a wonderful job, and the attention to detail and the time that he devotes to the position, unmatched. Understanding of the role and
Is there a second?
I second
Are there any other nominations? Okay. Is there a motion for nominations to cease?
So moved.
Is there a second? I will hand out the ballots if you want to write who you're voting for and your name underneath, and then we'll tabulate those. You don't have to read them out loud. First, we have Sue Wilson. Sue Wilson. Eric. Sue Wilson.
Sorry, I signed my name. That's my signature.
Okay. I think this is a doctor's signature here, so I'm gonna guess Ryan
Oh, it did?
voted for Mac.
This is my signature.
Grady Dar, Sue Wilson. Jeanette Campbell, Mac Rankin. Then Metzger, Sue Wilson. Mac Rankin, Mac Rankin. So Sue Wilson wins 4-3.
Congratulations, Sue.
So you're it.
Tag, you're it.
So now you will call for nominations for vice president.
Okay. So,
Oh, wait, you have to be sworn in first.
All right. Stand up and raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of Board President in the Indianola Community School District as hereafter required by law? Congratulations.
Now, election for nominations for vice president.
Make a motion to nominate Ben. Similar to what Ben said, I think he's got a lot of experience like Sue. He's somebody that does a great job of seeing all sides of the issue, and just gets along with folks well in general. A lot of great insights.
Except my teenage kids right now.
It
Yeah,
it happens.
Join the parent group, right?
I'd like to nominate Mac. Same reasons for the first. I think he's the best man for the position. And that does not mean I don't think Ben or Sue could do a great job either, just so you two know that. I think Mac is great at what he does. Devoted.
Is there a second for Sue?
For Ben.
Or, I'm sorry, for Ben?
I'll second that.
Is there a second for Mac?
I second that.
Jeanette?
Is that your daughter? She's kind of old.
There's a motion for nominations to cease.
So moved.
Second. All right, same thing. I'll hand out the ballots. Okay, first we have Sue Wilson, voted for Ben Metzger. Mac Rankin, voted for Mac Rankin. Jeanette Campbell, voted for Mac Rankin. Brady Dar, voted for Ben Metzger. Ryan Worling, voted for Mac Rankin. Eric Christensen, voted for Ben. And who am I missing?
Ben?
Is it a scribble?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Ben voted for Ben. So Ben Metzger is the winner, 4-3. Congratulations.
You get to swear in Ben.
It's cheap for me to swear in at Ben.
Bottom is the oath of office, you two.
Here, you can do this if you want to do the oath to the vice president.
Vice President.
Glad I have my glasses on today, otherwise Eric would have to hold it for me. Okay, do you solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and will you faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge all your duties of the office of Board Vice President in Indianola Community School District as now or hereafter required by law? It's for action and discussion.
So the first one are annual appointments. These are annually appointed by the board. They are consistent with what has been. And I know there were questions about the board committee membership. You can have discussion on if you want to move committees, if you want to do something different than what you have been assigned to or have been serving on. So everything in there is open for discussion. Any changes you want to see in there?
Do you want me to, are you sold on facilities? No. So we can swap if you like.
Thank you.
Yeah. Or, and I'm not, I mean, whoever, you can take that one, but if someone else really wants to get on facilities too, you guys just let me know.
Brady, is there another one you'd like to be on?
Or not be on.
Well, you know, as a former English teacher, finance is not probably my
You're
strong
speaking
suit.
Sue's language right there.
I feel like I'd have the least learning curve with human resources, but curriculum was the one I really wanted, so.
Jeanette, you were kind of thrown into your committees last time. Is there some that you really want to stay or switch or?
I'm content with where I am.
Ryan?
Yeah, I'll stay.
Yeah, I'm content. Creature of habit, I can't remember new meeting dates. That's all Miss Shelley.
Do we, are there any, I thought there was discussion that the president typically sat on certain ones. Is that such a thing or no? I doesn't.
I have not been a part of those discussions, and I don't know what your past precedent has been.
I think I'll stay on HR just for one more year if that's okay.
Fire through this so we can get to the, start at 6:30?
What's that?
National Honor, is that
It's
6:30?
6:30, yeah.
Make a motion to accept the annual appointments as discussed.
I'll second that.
So Brady is gonna go to curriculum and Sue is gonna go to facilities.
So I'm the first Thursday.
Sue, you get to call for a motion, or a second,
Second.
second, and a vote.
Okay, so we need to call for a vote. All those in favor of keeping the current, or the annual appointments as was discussed with Brady moving to curriculum and myself moving to facilities. Everything else staying consistent.
Aye.
Okay, so 7-0. Now we are going to look at board meeting dates. So are Monday evenings still the best for everybody? Yes? 5:30 start time?
And I did look at all, the second, next year, the second Mondays do not interfere with any holidays or anything. So these should be solid. I mean, we can add in there or we can adjust them. But these correspond to the second Mondays of the month.
I will not be here for the January 12th, but that doesn't mean that just as a FYI.
If we go early, we won't have bills done. If we go on the 3rd, that's a holiday.
That is a holiday. So we'll just keep it as is. And Ben, are you here that?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone's good, second Monday of every month, 5:30 PM? Ryan? That works.
Yeah, motion, I'll make a motion to approve the listed meeting dates.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 7-0. Next is the depository limits. And that would be, Ryan, you have a little report or anything to share with us?
Depository resolution. This just lists the institutions that the board is authorizing us to have our money in. We still have People's as an option. We left on there, reduced their amount. True Bank, we increased to $60,000. IceJet, which is the Iowa School Investment Trust, we up to $60,000, and then UMB, which is who we pay our bonds through, is at $10 million. 60 million.
And those are the same, that hasn't changed since last time.
They're
So-
slightly different. I
What you're
increased,
looking at here is the balance on June 30th.
oh. Yeah, this one was the depository balances. The last one was the depository resolution. And I'm not sure why that came across a little funky, but at the June 30th, this was our cash balance. We still had a little money in People's Bank, 2.2 million. True Bank, we had 32 million. And then that's broken down. Something doesn't look right there. Oh, and then we had balances in IceJet also. General fund, we had 22,000. Management, we had slightly over 3 million. Capital projects, which is the high school project, we had 2.3 million. Physical plant and equipment levy, we had slightly over 3 million. Self-insurance, self-funded health insurance, we had just under 5,800. Food service, we had about 2,900. And our SAVE, which is the 1 cent sales tax, we had just under 5,800 balance in there.
So by board policy, we have to give you the June 30th depository balances. And then the other link is what we're asking for those depository limits, so the maximum amount that we can put into each of these banks or categories in there.
That was my question. That hasn't changed since last time, right? Or has-
We changed it slightly. We lowered people's, because we have the majority of our money at True Bank.
Okay.
So we increased True Bank. And I believe I lowered IceJet's down slightly because right now, we're getting about the same amount at True Bank as we are at IceJet.
And we have to have enough wiggle room with our money coming in for the building project, so that we have our carryover unspent balance there, the 8 million, 9 million, plus any project that might be held, but it may not. We just need a short amount of time until the bills are paid. So we have to make sure that we have enough in our depository limits in there.
I'll make a motion to approve the named depositories and limits as presented in the resolution.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
And this is a roll call vote. Brady, if ever you want to go over any of what we're talking about, please just come on in, because it's a little crazy.
That's a good point. I didn't think.
School finance is a little different.
Like kind of picking up the book and we're 100 pages into it.
That's all right.
Jeanette Campbell.
Do I say yes or aye or what?
Either one.
Okay, here.
Sue Wilson.
Aye.
Ryan Whirling. Eric Christensen.
Aye.
Mac Rankin. Brady Darr. And Ben Metzger.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Notification of purchase of a middle school dishwasher.
Yeah, so recently, and you can read what happened, but this is just notifying you that I did reach out to both Mac and Ben, because we felt this was kind of an emergency, that we needed to get it done prior to the board meeting, and we didn't want to call a special board meeting to authorize $1,800 over the actual quote amount that I'm approved to okay. So I talked to Ben and Mac, and they approved me okaying that additional $1,900 to purchase the the dishwasher ahead of the board meeting. And then just notifying you that we did purchase this dishwasher, and it came in at $58,899. So, and then there was a $10,000, almost $11,000 installation fee on it. Just making you aware that we did do that, and it was outside of that board limitation.
How big is that dishwasher?
It's a nice dishwasher. If you ever want to use it, by middle school.
People can.
I did have a quick question about this one.
Industrial, yeah.
How often do you have to approve these emergency funds? Like, is the allowance that you have matching price increases? Like, when did we set your limit?
This, so this goes, let me see if we can, I don't have the policy link there. So 57,000 is the limit that I can approve without asking the board for permission. I'd have to look, it's within the last 5 years that this policy has been reviewed.
This is the first time in 6 years on,
Okay.
what was the other?
Ted came to us on,
Oh, the boiler or whatever? Yeah. Yeah, second time in 6 years, so it
Okay.
doesn't happen.
Okay.
And it's always a piece of it.
Right, it's usually a piece of equipment. And honestly, had this been last week when this happened, I probably would have just waited. But it was 2 weeks ago, they were using paper plates, it just didn't make sense to us to continue to do that. But normally, we would just bring it to the board if we can. Or on a big piece of equipment, we would call a special board meeting, generally on one of those Tuesday, Thursdays, where we're already bringing most of you in anyway, so.
The AEA board ballot.
So I can explain this one if you're okay, so.
You need to vote on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, there's just notification because it's already done. So the AEA with Iowa Code 273.8, they have to now have a representative board that is voted on or elected by school districts. So you are electing our representative for the region. We only have one candidate. Her name is Heather Sievers. I don't know a whole lot about her. We didn't get a whole lot of information regarding her. However, they would like us to take board action to say our votes would go towards Heather. And then you can see that she would be serving Baxter, Bondurant, Carlisle, Colfax, Mingo, Collins, you can read. She would be serving those districts as well. That's our region.
So you need a motion.
I just need a motion to approve us filling out the form for Heather Sievers to represent us on the AA board.
So moved.
Second it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 7-0. Next is a resolution to authorize the sale and issuance of school infrastructure sales services and the use of tax revenue bonds and approving the official statement.
So this is for the $30 million that we're borrowing against our SAVE money. So if you remember when we talked about in our finance, Travis came to talk to the committee, talked about how we are going to be structured. This will fund all of phase 1 and about $2 million of phase 2. So it gets us started with the construction project or architect fees, some construction mobilization, things like that for phase 2 before we finish up with GO bonds. And so we are asking that you pass this resolution so that this will send those bonds out for sale. We originally wanted a special board meeting on December 1st at 7. However, we're selling the bonds December 1st in the afternoon, so we can't have a board meeting before you accept the sale or accept the winning bidder of those. So I do ask that you pass this resolution and then we'll set a special board meeting. I hope it's for December 2nd at 7 to accept the winning bid on that.
So we need a motion, please.
Motion to accept the recommended authorization of sale and issuance of school infrastructure sales service and use tax revenue bonds and approve the official statement as presented.
Second.
Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 7-0. And the special board meeting time for what we just talked about.
I'm sorry, I didn't change that to December 2nd, Tuesday, December 2nd, after the sale on the 1st. So if we could set Tuesday, and we'll rectify the minutes to show this Tuesday, December 2nd at 7 a.m. for the purpose of meeting timelines for the bond sale and approving the bond purchase agreement.
So that, the first Tuesday of every month, I don't think is a normal committee meeting. The Thursday would be facilities, I think. But are people able to come on that?
We will do an electronic option, because this literally is a 5
Should be
minute,
fast, right?
Yeah, it's a 5-minute.
meeting. So we'll do a phone, we can do face-to-face, we'll have that option available, but we'll also have a call-in option, simply because it's a 5-minute, here are the bids, here's your lowest one, type thing.
And that's legislation that we have to take the lowest bid, right? Is it
We
mandated?
take the best interest rate in there, and that goes with Travis and Jim out of Ollers. They look those over after they receive them on Wednesday, make sure that they meet all the thresholds, and then they present us with their recommendation based on highest interest or lowest interest rate and meeting all the requirements of the bid.
Brady? Make it first.
Oh, I'll make a motion. I move to approve this.
Tuesday, December 2nd.
Oh, yes.
Right, with that.
Not as written, Tuesday, December 2nd.
I apologize, I thought I caught that.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And board calendar.
I will update that December 2nd one as well, based on tonight's discussion.
Finance.
Is tomorrow?
So do you normally have finance on the second Tuesday or the first Tuesday of every month?
This is the 3rd, because
It
remember.
is, my goodness. We're a week later. Okay.
It's the 3rd. I'm really surprised nobody wanted to switch for a policy committee.
You know, I did it, and I miss it a lot. Sometimes I have dreams about it. You know, just switching a comma, and a semicolon. And Eric's all over it.
He is all over it.
He is the
I
policy
really
guru.
appreciate him. All right, any changes that you see other than I will switch that, and then I will finalize these and send them out to you so you have the full one in your notes, and we will keep updating it as we go through the year, but just so you have the updated version.
All right.
So there's no policy, did we just say that, no policy in December?
Say that one more time.
Did we just say that there's no policy in December, and I was not listening?
There's no policy in December because that falls on Christmas Day.
Oh.
Now, if you want to come on Christmas Day, I will phone in gladly. There'd be no better present
You'll be here?
than a policy committee meeting.
Will you be here?
I'll phone in.
Anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn at 6:20.
Second.
Any other discussion? All right.
Who needs this copy of this letter from Stacy?
We'll just put it in, you can give it to Brian and he'll put it in the board notes.
We vote to adjourn.
Welcome, congratulations. I'm gonna run and try to catch my son's last wrestling meet.